To me, although it looks like it's on crack, it looks like a raccoon standing up. So I hate to be a party pooper, but
do raccoons stand up?
Yeah, they do.
They do in movies.
Just it's actually one of the more searched Google terms, a raccoon standing up.
If a raccoon, I mean,
the only thing
this
that
looks
makes
like a really big raccoon.
The only thing that makes it look weird are the legs not being as
That's
furry.
what I was pointing out.
That's what I'm saying.
So
the knees are inverted instead of backwards like the way Mark said. It has human legs.
It
looks like it's in a squatting position.
It's either a cracked out, deformed raccoon or it's a chupacabra.
Jacob's in here on Twitter. Jacob says it's a chupacabra or a drunk furry.
Well, actually,
a drunk furry. That's a good one.
That looks kind of similar.
I am looking at a raccoon standing up on Alex's phone.
That looks kind of similar.
But that thing is like 2 feet tall. This thing in the video looks like it's at least 5 feet.
James wants us to be an out of the world
creature. Look at how tall
creature.
the fence is compared to the creature. This thing looks at least 5 foot, maybe our height, my height.
And here's the thing, like
2 raccoons in a trench coat, just standing on top.
And here's
of each
the
other.
thing, you know, I do believe there are some very weird, like sci-fi monster-like creatures out there. We've only discovered like 5 to 10% of our oceans. Like we've only explored that much. There's still like over 80% of ocean that we still haven't discovered yet. So it's possible something's out there, but I hate to be the party pooper again, but that's what it looks like to me.
What's your just give a percentage on if this is actually Dogman / werewolf?
Or a chupacabra, probably 10%.
Alex, what's your percentage? That this is Dogman or werewolf?
I'd probably give it 10% as well.
Jerry?
0.001%. This is a human being. It has to be. I've been to Amarillo. There's nothing there. Why a Dogman would be an Amarillo?
I'm gonna say that this is a Dogman. I'll give it about 40% Dogman / werewolf.
What have you been smoking on, man?
At War Eagle's in here on Twitter real quickly. War Eagle says it's El Cucuy.
Of course.
Yes, El Cucuy. I'm not even lying. There's sometimes where I'm at my house at night. I'm scared to be outside, like when it's really dark, because I'm afraid to see like some weird crap like this.
Wow.
I'm not even joking. I'm not joking.
Man card.
Look up some of the crazy cryptids out there. Look up some of the crazy cryptids out there, like skinwalkers. You're gonna have nightmares.
And what the hell are they doing in Corpus?
They're
cooking up something at NASCAD.
So there we go. All right. I don't know how we transition to this, but coming up next, we have state championship winning head coach of Sinton following up our Dogman segment. You can only get it here on the Sports Rush. Coming up next, Sinton head coach Adrian Alaniz on the line. We're talking to him after the break. Keep it locked right here. Good morning, Corpus Christi, Coastal Bend, and listeners worldwide. Welcome on into hour number 2 of the Sunday Sports Rush right here on News Talk KEYS 1440 AM and 98.7 FM. It is episode number 76. We are starting off the second hour. I am your host, James Espinosa, joined alongside Alex Weister, Aiden Ducker, and Jerry Plemons this morning. Without further ado, we were able to book Coach Adrian Alaniz just yesterday. They won the state title out in Austin on Thursday night. They defeated Argyle by a final score of 9-0. They defeated Salina in the state semifinals 9-0, a combined 18-0 in 2 state tournament games. One of the most dominating performances any of us have ever seen, especially here in this region, in the Coastal Bend, Corpus Christi area. Without further ado, on the line, Sinton head baseball coach Adrian Alaniz. Coach Alaniz, good morning.
Good morning, guys, and thank you for having me on today.
No problem, Coach. First and foremost, Coach, it's an honor to even have you on this morning. Thank you for giving us some of your time. We appreciate that, and congratulations, Coach, on the state championship. How does it feel, Coach, being a state championship head coach?
I mean, it's amazing. Well, I made that comment earlier that I was just, where I'm at in my chapters in my life, I just feel like this is so rewarding. I didn't know where the game of baseball was going to take me as a teenager, as a college athlete. I never envisioned being the head baseball coach for my hometown, and all things just come around full circle. And to be able to accomplish this so quickly in my coaching career, it's even more special knowing it's from my hometown and something that means so much in my heart and to these kids and to this community.
Coach, you mentioned your hometown, Sinton. You were a part of the 2002 state title team. You pitched for the Sinton Pirates, and now as a head coach to come full circle and lead these young men to a state championship. What does that mean for the community of Sinton itself?
I think it's a prideful thing, no doubt. Just knowing that Sinton's a special place, and it's always been a special place in my heart and in this community. People just they come and but everything kind of just gravitates back to this small town. You talk to people that maybe want to leave right out of high school, and eventually they make their way back into this community. And that's exactly what me and my wife, we felt like we needed to come back home and enjoy this. And what a roller coaster of a ride it's been for us since we've been back since 2011.
We're here with Sinton head baseball coach Adrian Alaniz, head coach of the 4A state champion Sinton Pirates. Coach, you mentioned the community. How have you heard from any alum? Have you heard from community members? Was your phone blowing up the minute that y'all won the state championship? I imagine you had tons of text messages and phone calls to return.
Yes, we did. I think I got back to my phone and I had 176 messages and Facebook messages, and I try to do my best to be able to respond back to everybody. That's almost a tall task to do, but I heard from Mike Adams. I heard from a lot of the guys from the 88, 89 team, some of my former teammates from the 02 seasons, just, so appreciative of and just happy that the title's back in Sinton, where we felt like it deserved to be here for a long time.
Coach, follow-up question to that. So you were pretty busy returning all those calls, I can only imagine. Now, y'all guys, Coach, I mentioned this before I brought you in on the air, 36-1 overall. Y'all guys ended the season on a 31-game winning streak. And the way y'all guys went up their state, 9-0 against Salina, 9-0 against Argyle in the championship game. Coach, personally, before this season, had you ever been a part of this type of dominating team before in your life?
No, but I knew going into the season that we had the tools to make it happen. That's something that we kind of emphasize with these guys, is that we have the pieces to the puzzle to make this work. And it's ultimately our job to kind of mold and gel and get better as the year goes on. And I think these kids did exactly that. They were executing everything all the way around. The focus level was great. You just enjoy being on that ball field with those guys each and every day, even if it's practice or workouts or, during the games. They just got better, and we grew closer as a unit. And, the sky was the limit with this team. They can definitely, say that they were easily probably the best team that ever come out of Sinton, and I can definitely attest to that, just being a part of former teams. These guys are super talented, super good kids, and come around from great families.
So, Coach, if you put your 2002 state championship team in a hypothetical game against this 2022 team in a 3-game series, what's happening?
That's a good one, man.
Because y'all guys had a great squad back then.
Yes, I would think I would like to favor well against a lineup like these guys. But, throughout the season, 1 through 9, we're pretty solid through offensively with this group this year. I don't think that opposing pitchers really had a breath of fresh air against them. But, that's just kind of, I guess, one for people to talk about what could have happened if that 02 and 2022 team would match up. But, it's a great feeling to have, and it's a good conversation.
Yeah, so, sure. Coach, even with you on the mound, hypothetically, that lineup's probably giving you some issues, huh?
It would. It definitely would. It wouldn't be easy, that's for sure. But, you love the way that the competition would probably happen.
There we go. We're here with Sinton head baseball coach, state champion Sinton Pirate head baseball coach Adrian Alaniz.
Hey, Coach, Alex here. I know looking at the stats and the scores, it's hard for me to decide. If you had to pick between the pitching and the batting, what would you say was the strong suit of this team?
Oh, man. Honestly, batting has been the focal point for this season. I felt like in years past, we've had consistent pitching throughout the entire season. And the more and more we got closer towards the state tournament, that the bats have to come alive and they have to be able to produce runs.
Yeah.
Because ultimately that's how you're going to end up winning ball games. And honestly, I think that was the thing that kind of gelled together for us this year and got us over the hump. It's just knowing that we put in the work and the kids went out there and executed offensively throughout the year to give our pitching staff the best chance to win.
Hey, Coach Alaniz, is Aiden here again, and I always like talking to a championship-winning coach's toughest game and whatnot, and I like to go to the regional finals Cal game, and through 8 innings, even though it was 3-0 at that point. I mean, sorry, through six innings.
Yeah,
my
six
bad,
innings.
Yeah, through 6 innings, even though it was a 3-0 game at that point, it felt like that y'all were fairly in control of that game. However, in the final inning, Callan got bases loaded and made things really interesting, where the game was literally on the line. With when he run at first base, and you made several pitching changes in that final inning. And I was wondering, what were you talking to your guys about, and how were you able to get them through that late rally attempt by Callan?
Yeah, well, those mound visits that we had, we just try to, not focus on the results and just kind of focus on our breathing, trying to make sure that we're locked in to execute one pitch at a time. And do you understand that we've got good enough stuff to get out of some of those obstacles like that? That was basically some of the things that I talked to those pitchers. And then as the game went through certain at-bats, we felt like that, we were at the bottom half of the lineup, and you got a kid that's Texas High School Gatorade Player of the Year, Blake Mitchell, and throws in the mid-90s. You hand the ball to that kid and slam the door, and that's exactly what my thought process was going into that. And so I was just so proud of the way that these guys competed year in and year out. Like you said, they were in some crunch situations where you just don't know how they're gonna bend or they're gonna break. And I felt like throughout the year our maturity had gotten better and better in the way that we handled those moments. And honestly, these kids, they just rose to the occasion and they got better every year.
And a follow-up question, and one of my favorite sports moments I've ever seen live was y'all's celebration in the pool in Whataburger Field right afterwards. And I just want to ask you, was that planned before the game, or was that just in the moment, joy and jubilation?
Well, the plan was probably from the kids, but I had no idea that was no idea. And honestly, I would have probably nipped that right, if I knew that was in the works to make that happen. My first thought process is like, where in the world are these kids running to? And then I see them jumping over the wall. I'm like, oh my gosh! And I turn to my assistants and I say, guys, go get them right now.
Yeah.
'Cause I thought it was the best thing to do in that scenario is to go shake Cal Allen's hands, because that's the most respectful thing to do. And I didn't want it to seem that kids were being disrespectful to Cal Allen, because they deserve to get their hands shaken.
Yeah.
That's how the ball game needs to be played. So I was upset for the first minute or so. I talked to Coach Chapman. He congratulated me, and things like that just happen in the moment. And everything's good. Nobody was hurt, and but what a little cool celebration by our guys that probably won't ever get to happen again at that facility, right?
Yeah, I would think so, Coach, because when that happened, first and foremost, like what was running through your mind, I was thinking, what is going on? And then I see them going to the pool, and I'm like, they are going to do a pool party. And y'all's crowd, let me give a shout out to the Sinton crowd, because they packed the house at Whataburger. And then even up at Dish Falk, y'all guys had a solid crowd, a lot of support from the community. They were going crazy. It made for a great viral moment, a great story, and it got some, talk around the celebration in the game. And the game was amazing, Coach. Cal Allen was definitely a worthy opponent. And y'all guys, like you said, y'all slammed the door on them at the end. Now, Coach, we're here with Sinton head coach Adrian Alaniz. Coach, in the midst of this 31-game winning streak, how did you keep your guys grounded? How did you not let your guys get a little bit big-headed and maybe even complacent at times? Was that something you had to battle through?
Well, we challenge each other every day in practice. We work on competition stuff that just keeps them live, keeps them loose. And, just honestly, as a coach, I thought that was one of my biggest obstacles this year was, we had talent, but it was one of those things that you don't want them to get too big-headed. And we focused on telling them that, continue to trust the process and, not to think that you've got this game figured out, because that's exactly what could happen. It can come back and bite you. This game is so unpredictable, and I've been around a lot of really good mentors in my time. And I just learned throughout that process that stuff like that can happen to a really good team. And so just constant reminders and just working on the things that we needed to do and just make it fun and easy with these boys. And, it was great to see them manage those things on a daily basis, and I think that's exactly how we end up staying consistent.
Did you know that this was the team, Coach, that could do this, that this was the group that could get it done?
I really did. Last year I felt like we had the group. We just couldn't. We